I met a gypsy.
We say all of that, and then you spend 2008 battling Jason Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was good versus evil, and evil triumphed in that particular instance.
Yeah, but
he's not evil. He's a very nice guy.
It was, aside from whatever, it was like that going through that year was so hard, but that year like shaped the rest of my racing career.
Yeah.
Like looking back, like I was like, why do I have to go through this? Like this sucks. Why do I have to deal with this guy?
Yeah.
I caved into his mental games. Like it was so bad. And I mean, he had me. I mean, he had me in his hands. Like this guy could play with me, toy me around. It was pathetic. Anyway, but what I could learn and benefit from, and how I could move forward from that, it was the best thing that could have happened.
How rough was that though?
It was gnarly. Supercross was the worst of it all. Just that stint.
Because the coast is separated. There's only 2 or 3 top guys.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed that you're going to be around each other
Yeah.
on the track, at the press conferences, just the whole deal.
Well, and he didn't have a good opener. I mean, he was good, but he kind of caught me by surprise.
Well, you had a pretty big points lead, right?
Yeah, I had like 30, I think it was 34 points. So
Dude,
I'm like,
how'd you blow that?
yeah, I was, that calls you just thinking about it too much and trying to hang on to something you don't have. And once I had a bad race, it also just started to spiral. And it wasn't, I mean, a lot of it was me. I mentally didn't know how to handle the pressure, the championship. I'm supposed to be a guy that wins it now. Everybody's kind of counting on me, the team, and I'm just throwing it away. And then on top of it, you have him to fuel it,
Just
to make it.
digging
Yeah.
in.
It's like, just, yeah. And then it was the points. I lost the points lead, and I ended up losing the championship by 4 points. But it was just too late. By the time I feel like I gathered myself to figure it out, it was too late. And it was a lot of hard conversations. Roger and Ray Tetherton. They pulled me in at Houston after I lost the points. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to lose my job right now or what, but this is it's almost, if there was one thing you feared, I have to say that if there was one thing I feared was if I could win races and maybe be in contention to win a championship, the one thing I feared was to get the points lead only to blow it and throw it all away. That was that voice in my head, don't do that. Can you handle this prep? And I blew it. And so, yeah, it was crazy. I looked back way over my head, riding over my head. It was, luckily I didn't get hurt. I was all over the place. Yeah.
But a crazy good lesson, because after that, I mean, life was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it got better. And, I was getting to talk with Eldon a bunch at that time, and I was down at Stewart's riding a bunch, and he was working with Eldon. Yep. That year, and so I got to spend a little bit of time with Eldon, talk with him a little bit, and I feel like I had gotten mentally things were getting figured out. Physically, I always felt like physically I was in good shape, and just kind of working with Eldon and the spiritual side, and just kind of being able to. What's important in life, putting things in perspective, being able to, racing was, in 2008, racing was everything. I mean, it was everything to me.
Literally,
I remember flying home after I lost the points lead, and I was flying home, and when you're sitting there, you have these aha moments.
Yeah.
And my moment was you have no balance in your life. It is all about racing. I had met Lindsay at the time, I remember at this point. And I was head over heels for her, but I told her hey, I can't have a girlfriend. I gotta focus on racing. And so I'm blowing that, and I'm like, well, no, I really like her, and now she doesn't want anything to do with me, and so we got that. So I had no balance, and so I just I vowed to change my life and for the better, and just put it in perspective. And hey, racing was going to be important, but it wasn't going to be number one, and. It was going to be important to do a good job for sure, but I wasn't going to make it everything anymore, and I was going to give it my best and just try to, and that at that point, it's I didn't feel the pressure just caving under, being, folding under the pressure. I felt like I could see myself enjoying it, having fun now. And so, yeah.
Because what is pressure? you know, like it's what you decide that it is in your case, right?
Yeah, I mean, the expectation that you put on yourself, the expectation that others have of you, and you know, and a lot of it, I've always had this bad habit of trying to control things I can't control, and and saying that was like prime example with the championship. Okay, like I wanted the championship in two rounds before it was even over.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go out there and race for it. I want it now. And I was trying to hang on to something that like I couldn't hang on to. Like I didn't like, you can't control that. Let it go, you know? And I didn't know. There was a lot of things I didn't know how to handle. So
At the very least, the world is completely indifferent to your feelings. At the least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the worst, it fully hates you.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't care, you know?
No.
And we get that twisted.
Yeah. No, for sure. And yeah, just try to let go. Yeah, it was just a learning lesson, and it was still hard, you know, when you're trying to win that first one, and it's like you've blown it 2 times already. Like, don't do it again. But that's where it's like, you know what, if it happens, if the cards fall with it, you know, I'm gonna give it my best, but I'm not gonna lose this thing by self-sabotaging myself, and you know, I'm gonna, you know, give myself a shot at this.
Yeah, because there is a point of diminishing returns of everything. Like it's one of the things I try and just think about the most in my life.
Yeah.
Because again, like there is a level at which you can care so much about the championship or racing that the thing that you care about starts to suffer.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a really good example. And Villo had this, I always felt like Villapoto, he had this like happy-go-lucky, like who cares? You know, he wanted it inside, but it's like he was able to like get the job done with ease, I feel, because he wasn't like putting it all.
Wasn't tied to it as.
Yeah, it's like he had this balance. So that was a guy I could like kind of learn. And even I got to spend time with James and Ricky, and I watched these guys or spend time with them. We'd go to the golf course, and I'm like,
how are you here?
Well, it's like these guys like, they're normal. They're human. They go to the golf. They like to have fun. They like to enjoy themselves. They like to have a good time. They work hard. Like, I don't know why I was overthinking that. I'll never be able to live up to this, you know? And so anyway, it's just good to see the mindset of a champion, like somebody who's done it before I haven't even done anything, you know? And so.
Well, I think there's also an element too where like one guy I see this in is Christian Craig. I've said it a couple of times before, where I feel like he wants it so bad that like you have a bad race, like he'll have a bad race. Like I've watched a couple of his vlogs, right? And you see he doesn't have the result he wants. And it's like he almost wants people to know how bad he feels that he didn't achieve the thing that he was, you know, thought that he should achieve. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, be easy, bro. Like easy on yourself. Like I know like it's almost like you're trying to tell everybody with your feelings and your the way that you're acting, like how disappointed you are and how much you want it. But it's like, this is probably going to be to your detriment, you know, because it's like that mentality can like snowball. And I think you have a perception of like how bad you should want it or how upset you should be if you lose the points lead. And, you know, and I think that sometimes that expectation, you can kind of overcook it in your own life to where it starts to hamper your performance and like everybody else's performance around. But you feel like you can't in the moment be like, it's all good, boys, we'll get them next week.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not enough, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it would be if that's enough for you, you know, but, and I don't know about Christian. This world today, it's, with the social media stuff and all this stuff. And I mean, everybody talks about this. I'm not no expert in this, but like, it's very easy to, you're growing up and I got to be careful. I like quit all the social media stuff.
Oh, you're not on it at all?
No, I'm over it because, and it's a great business tool. Like I will say that, but personally, like how it was affecting me and like looking at everybody else's life. And then I'd get off the thing thinking, why did I just spend that much time on it? And leaving there more negative than I like, and I'm forgetting about all that I have, all the good things that are happening and have happened in my life. And so I think I guess what I was getting at though is just more like it's easy to, start to do it for the approval of other people. And it's like, no, like you don't need their approval, and I think that's just the biggest lie. And it says like the fear of man is a dangerous trap. It's like once you start caring what all these other people think but there's a way to make money off this stuff and to show yourself. And I think if you're going to do it, just make sure you just stay true to yourself. Again, I'm not trying to teach a lesson here. I don't know much about it, but it's easier. There's more distractions, I think, what I'm trying to say. And things like that can get you confused as an athlete, where I thought like, man, okay, there's guys on, what was it? The Vital MX. All right, that's a website. I'm not going to go on that website and look what people are saying,
Yeah.
Like I'm just not going to go on there and look at that stuff. And I didn't look at that, but you start to care, it starts to be a dangerous trap.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.